Hi there, my name is Jessica Brogley, and I'm an instructor for a course called Pre-Student Teaching at the University of Wisconsin-Platteville. You're getting this video because you have a student in my course. You are what I call a cooperating teacher. First of all, thank you for being willing to take on one of our students. Your leadership and mentorship is so important for them as they gain real experience in the classroom just before student teaching. So you're getting this video really because I need to show you how to evaluate students online. As you know, for this course, you evaluate students twice, depending on how often or how long you have the students. The student needs an evaluation after 40 hours. Typically, that's one placement, say a middle school placement. The student would then receive another evaluation at the end of the next 40 hours, typically at yet another placement, say high school. If you have the student for the whole time, like a music instructor might have one student and one pre-student teacher the entire time, you would just do two evaluations, one halfway through and one at the end. If you're just meeting the student for the first time, you just simply do the evaluation at the end of roughly 40 hours. The evaluation typically has been done on paper, and this has been okay. The students are responsible for bringing that paper back to me where I make a copy of it for my record, and then I take that copy over to clinical. Some CTs, cooperating teachers, mail the evaluation in and the same process occurs. There have been times where it's been a challenge to get the paper from the student to clinical, to myself, and then to clinical. It gets to be a bit of a paper chase. This time around, we've instituted the ability to fill out the evaluation digitally. I thought I would let you know how this would look on your end since it is a new process. If you are uncomfortable with all of this, you most certainly can still fill out the evaluation on paper. So let me walk you through what will the digital version look like. So the student on our side will trigger a request to be evaluated, and I'll do that in class with them. And that will trigger an email to you that looks like this. This is an automated notification that the student's name would be here. So John Doe has submitted pre-student teaching evaluations, evaluation 1, for you to evaluate. Click here to log into Taskstream. If it were the second evaluation at the end of the semester, it would say evaluation number 2. So we'll go ahead and click here to log into Taskstream. Now, I've already made my account. When you click that click here button, it will ask you to select your information, to make your password, re-enter your password, things like that. So you can make it whatever you want it to be. Your username is going to be your email address. And I used the email address that you gave clinical when you agreed to be a cooperating teacher. Now from here there are lots of things you can do. However, you really only need to worry about one button. You do not need to look at more options. You don't need to click home or get latest data, none of that. You're just curious about the evaluate button. So you would go ahead and click the evaluate button. And the next thing you need to click is evaluate or score work. And at this point, two panes will open up. One for the directions, and frankly, right now there's nothing written here, so you can kind of ignore that. And this one, the actual evaluation. So I'm just going to go ahead and expand that. So this is the pre-student teaching form. It looks just like the paper copy with a few more things included. So first of all, you'll pick today's date and the subject taught, the grade taught, and hours credit means how many hours do you think they were with you. Now I know that you do not keep track of hours, most of you don't, so you kind of have to ballpark it. Or you could occasionally ask to look at your pre-student teachers folder because on one of the sides they are keeping a running total of hours. So it's something you could check on periodically. You could also ask me if you're curious. I do keep digital record of all these. So let's say that I've been kind of paying attention with my CT or my student, and I know that they're at about the 40-hour mark, so I'll go ahead and put in 40. Really, you just need to be in the ballpark anyway because I verify with what the student records have, and occasionally I will contact you just to ask how are they doing, and usually we end up talking about hours completed as well. But again, you do not need to keep a formal record yourself. Then we get down to the actual evaluations here. Nothing has changed here. You're still evaluating according to the Danielson domains. So you would fill this out as you normally would. So you would just simply click the radio buttons like this. And you would go on down and finish your parts. And lastly, you would need to give an overall competence grade, an A, a B, or an incomplete. And lastly, please leave them some feedback, how they did, what they were good at, but also where they need to work on before student teaching. What areas of improvement would you like to see? And for the last step, we'll scroll to the bottom, and you do indeed need to give them a final mark, either meets requirement or does not meet. So select the one you feel is appropriate. And lastly, record as final and release evaluation to author now. And you will go ahead and click Submit Evaluation. At that point, the classroom instructor will receive a copy. The student will as well. And from there, you don't have to fill out a paper copy then. So if you decide that you don't want to do this, you don't have to. You could still use the paper copy. Just make sure that you do make a copy for yourself and then give the original to the student and they will bring it to clinical or to me. And if you'd rather not do that, you can definitely email it in to clinical. But again, if you want to skip all the paperwork, you're more than welcome to fill it out digitally using Taskstream. And again, you wouldn't do anything until you receive an email triggering the request to complete an evaluation. If you have any questions, give me a call at 608 342 6099 or email me at Brogley, Jess, Jes, at uwplatt.edu. Thank you for being a cooperating teacher. It's such an essential role in the development of our students. Thank you.